All right, everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology Forecast. So today we've got the crescent phase of the lunar cycle still the early phases of what was new beginnings last Friday. So still moving forward with things, maybe building a bit of momentum. But the moon is going to be in Pisces and will be for about the next few days. So this is more of the receptive energy, right? Going within, listening to that intuition. And the intuition could be very strong. It could almost seem very much like our reality is very dreamy. And for a good reason, to go within and again connect on that inner level. So that's going to be the theme of the day, and I think anything that is in alignment with that can be supportive. The sun is of course still in Capricorn, so things are still very grounded and reserved in terms of how we're focused on things, and maybe with the way we're expressing ourselves as well. And that's what this whole lunar cycle's been about. So continuing to develop the groundedness, the patience, the persistence, all in the bigger theme of things. Now today, Mercury does square up to Uranus, so there is a bit of a clash taking place, maybe with our minds. Most fundamentally, Mercury is the mental, practical mind, the everyday mind. And Uranus is the planet of revolution and change and wanting freedom in life. But in a square, it can be quite revolutionary, maybe quite disruptive. So we'll talk about healthy ways to integrate that when we return. All right, so here are the placements for the day. The sun in Capricorn, all part of this lunar cycle. Still a great time to be, yes, focused on the big picture in our life, structures, things that require patience, and that sort of grounded attitude. Now, with the moon in Pisces, this is actually linking up with a lot of the planets that have already been in there, Chiron, and then most recently Venus and Mars. So again, these are the interpersonal planets, Venus and Mars. They have more to do with relationships, and with us, with Mars going after the things that we personally want in life. So it's already been important to be receptive. And I think with the moon going over these planets and in Pisces, it's really accentuating this. So receptivity in relationships, compassion, understanding, right? More of this intuitive energy. With Mars, getting things done in a way that is, again, exerting the least amount of energy possible, right? Seeing where things are taking us, seeing where life is taking us. What's the easy route? Not the comfortable route necessarily, but where can we put our energy into the direction that's going to get the most results with the least amount of effort. So those are two, I think, important things as the day unfolds. But generally, Pisces, great day for spiritual activity, great day for listening, maybe getting some R&R, intuition, anything that is, again, diving within that spiritual dimension of life, really connecting to that beingness. All right, so that's the placements in terms of the aspects. Again, Mercury squaring up to Uranus is going to be the most impactful thing. It is going to go exact very late in the day going into tomorrow. So certainly as the day unfolds, it's usually how this works. So we, depending on our receptivity to this and our personal charts, some of us may feel it midday, some of us may feel it in the evening, just depending there, or maybe even the day before. But anyways, Mercury, yes, the planet of our mind, is squaring up to Uranus, the planet of disruption. And I'm saying it in that tone because the square can be disruptive change. So it could be that maybe there's some information maybe coming to us for some of us that might be uncomfortable or disruptive to work with. Maybe it's the routine. Maybe it's just our minds just feeling that way in general. And that's how I think it's going to essentially be collectively. It's maybe a bit of restlessness, maybe a bit of uneasiness. Okay, so the best way of working with this is to go into the Uranus side of it. Where can we disrupt our minds in healthy ways, right? Where can we think outside the box? Where can we be, most importantly with Mercury, flexible and adaptive, right, to whatever might be changing within or without, internal or external. And I think with that approach, with an approach of willing to be flexible, to change direction, and an openness to change our mind or routine or whatever it might be, I think it's a very healthy manifestation of this. And that's essentially, again, what squares are about. They are about initiation, building, using the energies in constructive ways. So here, how we can use Uranus, the planet of freedom, of being who we are, of creating the change in our life that we want to see in healthy and patient ways. Again, all part of this lunar cycle in Capricorn, remembering the big picture, I think is really the theme of the week, in fact. So along with that, the moon is forming a couple aspects. There's the conjunctions with Venus and Mars I was talking about. Chiron, it could be on some level, particularly the first half, maybe some healing. I think particularly healing that part of ourself that does or does not want to let go and surrender and go with the flow. So if there are any wounds, I don't think it's going to be major, but if there is any type of wounds that do come up around that, I think, yes, healing anything that comes up that can help us relax, detach, again, connect to that intuition. The moon does square Saturn. Saturn is the dispositor of this whole lunar cycle in Capricorn. So I think things relating to the patience and the discipline and all that may be a bit uncomfortable, or maybe our emotions are just a bit, I don't know, taking things seriously or maybe not seriously enough. So healthy patience, healthy groundedness, discipline, seeing the big picture, all of that I think can be very constructive. Maybe some new perspective about letting go with relationships, compassion, understanding, letting go with our values, right? Receptivity, knowing that things do come in divine timing, so to speak. And probably more so in the late evening for most of us, but going into tomorrow, Mars. Again, that receptive approach to getting things done. All right, so that is the day in a nutshell. Definitely Mercury squaring up to Uranus. How can we use healthy, disruptive thinking, revolutionary thinking, innovative thinking? And if it's not just with the mind, maybe with the routine. How can we be more adaptable and flexible with changes in life, or with whatever it is we feel like we want to create changes? Oftentimes with a square, we want to break through, we want to break free, right? But how can we do that in healthy ways with that square? And with Uranus and Pisces, and again, all these planets in Pisces at the moment, but Uranus here has been showing us that the true freedom that we're integrating collectively is through spiritual freedom, is through letting go, the peace, the freedom that comes from letting go and surrendering, right, and detaching as best as we can. So another good perspective there. And that really goes hand in hand with the moon today, which again is our feelings, which can be very intuitive, very receptive, all in this very early phase of the lunar cycle of still acclimating with and working with these grounded and patient and disciplined energies of the sun in Capricorn. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.